Some places spot for all things art, where I love sharing art from my heart and teaching creators and crafters how to paint for fun and bring a little joy into your life with some quick and fun, easy art projects. Now, today I have got a really cool palette. I'm calling this a fall palette. These little doodles that we're going to do were inspired by my friend Chris Williams on from Plaid Crafts. She's one of the head educators there, her and Angie, and she did a really fun lunch and learn yesterday on Let's Paint with Plaid. And so I watched it, I was inspired by it, and I want to do some of these doodles with you guys. So the first thing I'm going to show you is, look, I have a new book, y'all. I finished my other book. It is behind me. You can see it right there. That one is done. You guys, I get like such a thrill out of finishing a bottle of paint and throwing it away. I don't know. I feel like I've accomplished something. So I did that whole book. I don't know how many pages in it. I assume there's the same amount of pages in here. So this one has 72. I'm assuming that one has 72. So yay me. Anyway, when you hop on, let me know where you are watching from. I don't know if you guys can see this. I need to turn on one more light, which I forgot to do, and I'm going to do now. I was feeling a little, I don't know, wasn't feeling it today. And then I was like, you know what? I'm making a post and I'm going live, and that is that. And the lighting is much better. So I have out, I don't know if you can see these a little bit, these little sketches. Hey, Barbara. I have these little sketches. We are just going to work on some very simple doodle flowers. I'm going to see if I can lower this a little bit without making a mess or an issue here. I don't think I can, because I don't think I can undo it myself. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Let's see. Hello. Hello. Oh, the problem is then it goes into my there. Let's do it just to there. There we go. How's that? A little lower, but not too low, because then it gets into my video. Okay. So I have out. You can get out whatever colors you want. These are just the colors. I have out now orange, dark green. It's thick in this case. Yellow ochre. I think this is a sunflower yellow. And I have out it's either perfect purple or violet pansy. And I have some browns here just in case. Okay. And then I have some little sketches on here, and they're just little stems. I can go over them, or maybe I'll redo them. Let me go over them with pen, because it doesn't really matter. This is just, this is just for fun. So this way you can see them better. So I have one stem there, and I'm just, yeah, you can see these much better. These are just my starting stems for some little doodle flowers we're going to do, and some leaves. I'm doing them much bigger than they would be. Well, maybe not. Depends on your what you're working on. But presumably these are bigger. But they may not be. Depends on your surface, depends on what you're painting. And so I did these penned in there so you can just see what we're doing. Okay. So I'm going to get out a little bit of, I think I put out some burnt umber. Okay. I'm using very small, less than a quarter of an inch flat brush. This is the number 6 plaid. It's tiny. You can use a bigger brush if you want. I might actually use a bigger brush, because that would be doodle in there. Let me grab a bigger brush. What is this? Yeah, I'm gonna use this number 8. I think this will be good. But when you're doing doodles, you want to use a little brush, because presumably doodles are little, and I'll use an 8, and I think this will work just fine, because I still want you to see like the size of them. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to load my little brush here, my number 8. This is about a quarter of an inch wide. This is a plaid brush. I don't get hung up on the numbers, because numbers are not universal across the board, you guys. So what's a number 8 in plaid is not necessarily number 8 in artist craft. It's not a number 8 in Jerry's Autorama brushes. It's all different. Okay. So I fill my brush. I'm going to stand up on the chisel edge. I'm following my line, and I am just putting in my stems. Okay. And when you do your stems, you don't want them to be straight. You want them to have a little bow to themselves, a little bit of an arc. You always want them to come off in a V. Most of the time, if I'm adding a stem to a previous stem, I will start on the previous stem and then be off and work my way up like that. Okay. And then just put my arm in my paint. Then I'm just going to rinse my brush. And we're going to do a few of these. Hey, Carol, nice to see you. We're just going to do a few of these doodles. But I might have to put some of my drink water in my fresh cup water because I didn't have fresh water in my fresh cup. There we go. As long as I don't do it the opposite way, it's okay. Okay, dry off my brush. Okay, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow ochre. I want to darken it up with a little bit of my burnt umber. And so I do it right here next to the puddle, and I just pull out a little bit of my yellow ochre. This way, the most of my yellow ochre stays nice and fresh, and I just have a little bit out there. Okay? And I'm going to come here, and I'm going to make these little ovals at the top of my branches, or the top of my stems or leaves or whatever you want to call it. You can make them a circle if you want. I'm making them an oval. The beauty of doing doodles is that they're doodles. You don't have to say this is a particular flower, and it should be a particular shape or a particular color. Nope, because we're doodling. So none of that matters. That all goes out the window. And then I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to do, oops, drop my book almost. Another little one on there. Okay. So now we have our stems, and then we have our little flowers on top of our stem. And I'm going to wash my brush. Oh, you know what I need? White. I forgot I needed white. Okay. And I'm going to get my liner brush. I always like to wet my liner brush first. It brings all the hairs together. You want your liner brush to be nice. No bed head for your, well, no bed head for any of your brushes unless you're base coating and you want a really funky base coat on the back. Dip in water first. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white. And when I pick up the white, I'm going to twirl my brush to get a nice point. I'm using my thumb and my forefinger, and I'm giving it a twirl. Okay. Then I'm going to come in here. I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm just going to swirl around and around. It gets a little bit tricky to get started. Sometimes our pen does not want to go both ways. So I'll do a top and then I meet them. And once you get out a little bigger, then you can do your swirl around. If you were so inclined, you could wait until these completely dry and use a Posca pen. I have a couple of them here. I have a white one and a black one, and you can use these, but your paint has to be totally, totally dry on your project in order to use these. Okay, so that's just one little example, and you can do it even in different colors. So let me wash my brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of green time, and I will pull in some stems here, and I'm going to show you this time with the green. Okay, I want this a little thicker, so I'm going to put a little bit more pressure on my brush. Dry it off. I'm still using the same brush. This time I'm going to pick up a little bit of purple. And I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to add these little ovals to the top of my stems. And like I said, of course, if we were doodling, these would be smaller. And you can just do pencil drawings or pen drawings of these. It does not have to be paint. You can do it with marker, whatever you want. And just like cute little embellishments for your art. Okay? So I'm going to let those dry because I'm going to show you how I do them with a paint pen after my paint is completely dry there. Okay? All right. Wash my brush. Okay. Now this is a fun one. I'm going to go back to my green and I'm going to pull my stem up here. Okay? We always want our stem to have a little bit of a curve to it. Okay? Then I'm going to take my green paint and I'm going to add a leaf shape. And I do that by basically drawing a ball. I'm going to fill it in with my green paint. So it's opposite parentheses or a smile and a frown or whatever it is. And they cut pointed at the top and you have a really pretty leaf on there. Okay? Brush my brush. I'm going to take my purple paint back on my little brush. And I'm going to use my brush with the corner. So instead of using my brush on the flat, I'm going to use it upright on the corner and I'm going to squish it. So I'm going to start up here. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on my brush and pull to the stem. And as I move down, I'm going to put a little bit less pressure on my brush. And have these little petals off the top get smaller as I go down. So the first one started out really big because it had a lot of pressure on it. I'm going to add another one because I should have added this one right up to the tip top. So there we go. The first one, the more pressure, the bigger it'll be. The less pressure, the smaller it gets as I work my way down. And then I'm going to wash my brush. Now these are cute to add. You can get a pencil for these. I have my stylus somewhere. There it is. Okay. And what I'm going to put, I guess we'll do them in, I'm going to have them match. So I'm going to do purple. So I'm using my stylus. And I'm just dipping in my purple paint. And I'm adding these little droplets. Of course, they're going to hang down. They're not going to stick out right. To my flower. And there we go. That's my second little doodle flower for you guys. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I think I might have forgotten one. I think I did. That's okay. I'm gonna draw it. I'm gonna draw it down here. Okay. I'm going to get I'm going to darken up my yellow ochre a little bit more here, or either lighten up my burnt umber or I'm darkening up my yellow ochre. What's the difference, right? Okay. And I'm going to make a stem. Then I want to get my liner brush. And we're almost going to make like a basket. So I want these to come out to the side and connect. All right, everything is going to come right back to this middle here. All to the same point. And even when you do the one in the middle, You want it to have a little curve to it. So we have our stem, and then we have our top. It's like dandelionish when it gets out of control after they go away. And they, that they get the white and you can just blow on them. Kind of like what this is. Okay. Then I'm going to use the back of my brush with my orange. And I'm going to add a little dot to each of the tops. Okay. Again, I'm going to use my brush and I'm going to add a little dot here where it meets the stem. And then I'm going to go back to my little brush. Now, presumably, if you were doodling, if you wanted to make a pattern, you would do all of one type at once. You would do all of these, all of these, all of these. This way you're not switching back and forth between paint, switching back and forth between color. Like if I was putting this on a background, I would maybe choose like 3 of these in my background, 3 of these, 3 of these, and I would do them all at once while I had the same color on my brush and keep going. But to show you guys, I'm doing one at a time. And so I have to keep washing my brush. So now I'm picking up a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of the orange. I'm going to add some sunflower to my brush. And I'm just going to put a little tiny leaf on here. And then into this side as well. I have to switch. Now, if that leaf is too hard for you, feel free to come in here and do your apostrophe or your smiley face or your parentheses, whatever they are, and fill them in. Pick up a little bit more of the yellow. If it's much easier for you, there we go. So you can do this leaf or this leaf, depending on what you want. Actually, I don't even like that second leaf there. I'm going to fix it. There we go. That's better. Okay. So you can do the top leaves or the bottom leaves. And you know what? They're doodle flowers, and it's all okay. We're going to add a little bit more detail to the insides of our flowers, just not yet. Hello, Sally. You make it look so easy. Well, it comes with practice, and it's really not as difficult as you might think. And some are easy, the other one. Start with one. Start with this stem and these flowers with these lines. Or start with this one up here, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the paint pen. And sure. All right, let's do over here. I'm going to pick up a little green. I'm not going to wash my brush because I'm going back and forth, back and forth. And let's do this stem. Okay. Just going to wipe off my brush. I'm going to go back to the orange. And now we're going to do pairs of leaves on this stem, just like we did those petals up there. All right. I'm going to take my brush. I'm not using it on the flat. I'm using it up and down on the chisel edge. And I'm going to push and pull into the stem. As I get closer to the stem, I'm letting up on the pressure so it gets a little bit more pointy at the stem as well. Okay. They're on a little bit of an angle. I'm going to turn my paper, and now I'm going to do an opposite set to meet at the same point. A little bit of an angle. I'm lifting up on my brush, and we put in nice little leaves on that stem right there. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit of this dark brown on my orange, and I'm going to put an oval in here, a dark oval. Okay. And now I will, in fact, wash my brush. give it a rinse and then wipe it off. Now these are cool if you wanted to send greeting cards. You can put a couple of these and then some filler leaves around. I'm going to get into these filler leaves in a little bit, but right now I'm just doing all the flowers. Okay. So now I'm going to come up here to my yellow ochre and my sunflower. I'm double loading my brush, one corner in one color, the other corner in the other color. I want my light to be to the top, and I'm just going to fill in this marshmallow looking piece right here. You know, it does. It almost looks like a toasted marshmallow, right? Have it a little bit rounded on the bottom. And we fill it in. Pick up a little bit of white. And I'm going to come back in here and I want to add a little bit of highlight up under the inside of the flower. Okay? And wash the brush. The brushes. Actually, Sally, brushes absolutely do make a difference. These brushes are from Folk Art Plaid one-stroke brushes, and they do make a difference. You can get a set of these at One Stroke or Plaid Folk Art, plaidcrafts.com, or on Amazon. The brushes do make a difference. What you want in a brush is that it comes together like this, so it's nice and neat. You don't want your brush to look like this. This is a bed. I save these brushes because I can't part with them, and I save them to base coat, and they're in the back. I have a bunch of them here. These brushes will never come together again. But then I have these brushes, which is fairly new because I just broke out a new pack of brushes. This is nice. This is much better. And when it's wet and full of paint, it will come together like this. And you want your brush to be able to do this and stay like this. Okay? If your brush can do this and stay like this, you have much more control over your edges and your strokes. And these are not expensive brushes. You don't have to buy crazy expensive brushes that are, I've seen brushes that are $30, $40, $50 a piece. No. I don't have any brushes like that. But this is just a nice, decent set of brushes, and they work really well. Okay, where was I? Anyway, let's do the big leaves up here. We have to add some centers to this. I can do that. I'm gonna add some little border to this one here. I'm gonna pick up some blue, some of this purple. And I just want to come around here and I'm just outlining the outside, and then I'm adding in a little center. Let me see that. Just a little doodle. Wash that brush. Okay. So then these I like to do. This I really like to do. So I'm going to get some of my green, put it on my brush. And if you notice, we're not doing too many different strokes here. So I'm going to pull in my stem. I'm using my pinky on my surface as I do it. Okay. Then I'm going to get the green paint again. We're going to do the same thing that we did here. Up here for this little sprig, fern leaf, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to start with one at the top. I'm holding my brush. I'm going down with the corner first. I'm smushing it, and I'm pulling up. The difference between here and here, I want these to get smaller. So I'm going to start out small up top, less pressure at the beginning. I'm making them on an angle, and I'm going side to side. Every pair, I pick up more paint. So I'm pushing, squishing my brush, and then lifting it when I get close to the stem. And as I work my way down to the bottom of the stem, I'm starting out further and I'm applying a little bit more pressure to my brush so they get longer. You can do the same thing here. I'm going to pull in a stem. And again, these are just like little doodle fillers. I put one up top, put one out to the side, and then another one out to the side. And we just have that little clump of three right there. And you can do these in any color you want. So if you wanted to add a little cluster of three again, I'll load my brush up with some purple. I'll pull in a stem. And then on the corner, I'm going to push and pull up. I'm going to push and pull up. And then I'm going to push and pull up. Same thing, one's green, one's purple. Okay. Let's come up here to these leaves. I'm going to do these little leaves now. All right. I'm going to get a little of this yellow ochre. And I'm going to pick my stems in. You can see my ink line. That's okay. That was there to show you guys. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. Put a little bit of orange. And I'm going to, again, the parentheses, the football shape, whatever you want it to be, with some little ochre, yellow ochre and some nice orange. And I'm just going to now fill in that. Fill in, fill in. See, even I'm trying to make it even, and my leaf is growing and growing and growing. I'm just going to go right to my green here. And I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, this is just one single big leaf. I'm going to fill it in. So I'm going to show you how we're going to go in and detail all of the leaves at the same time. So once these are all painted in, I'll be able to show you how we're going to go back and fix them. Not fix them, finish them. Finish them with some detail. Yeah. And then this one is just a little bit smaller. A little one stroke leaf there. I'm going to wash my brush. And these just are little filler flowers. You can put them in an arrangement. You can put them on a card. You can do them for a background. You can paint them on a pumpkin, whatever you want. I'm going to come down here. I think I'm going to do a brown stem again. I'm going to pick up some of my burnt umber. Join my stems. And this stem is just a big V. One side's longer than the other, but it's just a V. Okay. And I think I'm going to use my liner brush for this. Then I'm going to start with some yellow ochre. And we're going to paint little ovals around the stems. Then I'm just going to wipe my brush. I'm not going to clean it. I'm going to go into the orange. And I'm going to do a little bit smaller here of an oval as I work my way up. If you need to go back and do a second coat to cover over your stem, you can. I don't mind it. Okay, again, I'm going to swipe my brush. I'm going to get this lighter yellow up here. And I'm just going to add a tiny little oval at almost the top of both of these little stems. Okay. Aren't these cute? So cute, so cute. Okay, let me wash my brush. I'm going to show you how to use the paint pen because these will be all dry up here now. So this is a pasta paint pen. It's white. You want to give it a shake. You want to leave these flat. When you store them, you want to store them flat. Okay. Oh, it says shake for 30 seconds. Who wants to count for me? All right. When you get started, you want to give them a little bit of press. Make sure the paint starts flowing. The head of these is a little bit spring-loaded. It's squishy. All right. And now see I have some paint there. I'm going to wipe it off. And then I'm just going to apply a little bit of pressure here. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to do my swirls. Little bit of pressure. These are small spaces. And there we go. And that's how I did it with a little bit of paint pen. Okay. Back to my liner. Now I'm going to start showing you how we're going to add some little details to our leaves. Sometimes if your paint is a little thin, a little thick, you want to thin it up a little bit with some water. I just put the very, very tip of my brush in the water, mix it in with my paint. This way I have a nice, it's thick, but it's not too thick. You don't want it to run off your brush when you hold it up. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add in some stems. Okay. And then we're just going to do some V's for our veins. One side and then the other side. Same thing here. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to pull in my stem. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Same thing here with this big one. Pulling my stem. You don't want your stem to be perfectly straight. This time I did 4 V's because it's a little bit bigger. And there, finished off those leaves. And we can even, if we want, do it down here in these leaves. And then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. So these are just some little doodles that you can add to your artwork, wherever. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I have a live. Tomorrow we are celebrating, I forgot to say this. Tomorrow we're celebrating Women's Equality Day on Talk Shop Live. I will be live here at 3 p.m. You can see it here on Facebook or you can see it on my Talk Shop Live channel. I will share the link for you. Just sharing some art kits and celebrating other women entrepreneurs with their small business on Talk Shop Live. So that'll be here at 3. And then this one we painted last night. Last night. This is in the free group. So if you didn't see this, this is in the free group. You can go watch the video. It's in there now. This is live last night, but now it's posted. And I don't have it because I can't reach it. I'm on Zoom. We're doing the fall church with all the beautiful fall foliage, the white chapel with the fall foliage. this Thursday or no, this Tuesday. This Tuesday on Zoom. So if you haven't signed up for that, if you put link in the comments, I can share the link with you. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day.